The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we're there for you. The following presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve.
And welcome back to Courtney Gym in Hawthorne at Hawthorne High School. Along with Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers, and this is the Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22 Sports presentation of the High School Sports Game of the Week. And it's featuring the battle for first place, Rufus. The Santa Monica Vikings have come to pillage first place away from Hawthorne's Cougars.
Well, it's not going to be an easy task here in the Cougar Den. And fortunately, Cougars actually are in possession of first right now, and they're looking to hold on to it. They're expecting a tough fight from the Samo High Vikings team, but Coach Mike Rios has his team ready, and Josh Jordan is coming off a huge game.
We'll talk about that in just a moment as we can look at the standings maybe of the Ocean League and see exactly where these two teams stack up, as Hawthorne, the Cougars, are up atop at 4-0, and the Vikings are right behind them at 3-1.
And there you see the Cougars with a 12-8 overall record. Santa Monica at 14-6. They're at 3-1. Everybody else is middle of the pack, and of course Culver City and Morningside are pulling up the rear. Beverly Hills and Inglewood still have a shot, but they've got a tall mountain to climb. Right now the Cougars love their position because they are in control of their destiny.
That's right, and also the Vikings have some injury problems. There were two of their big guns. Akil Gaynor was hurt just before the Beverly Hills game and has been lost ever since then with a hip injury. And the starting center, Will Friedman, is suffering from an ear infection, and he will not start tonight.
And that will certainly hurt Santa Monica's effort, as we saw on Friday night over at Lusinger when two of the players went out from their opponent, who skips me right now. You know what I'm thinking of, and the fans understand it. The point was their opponent lost a couple of players, and that changed the Redondo. Now that I got it, it changed the outlook for them.
Absolutely. You know that we've been focusing on Brandon Richardson, Shanderick Tyson, Josh Jordan, and their chances to go on and play on Saturdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, as well as over at Lusinger High School. They have their star player as well.
Absolutely.
But we're also going to focus on somebody in the Pioneer League who's already signed a letter of intent to go to North Carolina next year and is a big player. As you see right there, Dion Thompson is the big Tartar on campus, all 6 feet 9 inches of him and 250 pounds, leading them to a 4-1 league record and 11-9 overall. Here you see Thompson honing his craft at Lawndale on January 20th, dropping in 35 points, 15 field goals and 5 free throws, and ripping down 24 rebounds while blocking 10 Cardinal shots and added an assist and a steal in the Tartars' 73-57 win. Tar Heel coach Roy Williams, Rufus, said on his weekly radio show on Monday that Big Dion will give North Carolina power and muscle inside and give them their first true center since Brendan Haywood. And Thompson said he has no reservations about traveling cross country to go to college, and he made the right choice athletically and academically. And Pioneer coaches have had different strategies for the future Tar Heel. Some will let Thompson do his things, while others try to stop his teammates, and then the other coaches make the mistake of trying to put a cork in Thompson's game. And right now, turnovers and relying on Dion is the biggest problem for Torrance.
Well, talking about Dion, first of all, it's a great opportunity for the young man to go to play in the ACC, and it's a good thing that that Carolina picked him up. At 6'9", he'll obviously be a force in there, 6'9", 250. He'll do well. we'll look to see how well he does against my Duke Blue Devils in the years to come. But no, I'm excited for him, as we are for all these kids, and certainly for one of our local kids to get an opportunity like that to play at one of the premier, and no doubt about it, premier Division I programs. And I can tell you, knowing the area, Chapel Hill, and for his parents, if you're listening, your kid's going to a great, great environment. It's a beautiful college town.
I was just going to say, you being from the Holy Trinity of college basketball, it's a wonderful place to go. And heck, as long as there's going to be somebody there, it'd be a great place to go visit.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. One of the hardest tickets to get in sports, by the way.
Oh, the D
Not
Dome,
easy at all.
But Cameron's even harder.
Absolutely. But congratulations to Dion, which is why we're mentioning it, that, again, it's a good opportunity for him. And we've got a number of other kids in the South Bay, in our viewing area, who are picking up opportunities left and right. John Reed up at Peninsula is being recruited by SC. And our own guys around here, Brandon Richardson, who's a junior, Josh Jordan getting some looks over at Lusinger, Russell Westbrook getting a number of Division I looks. So what that means for everybody is that basketball in the South Bay is quality basketball. Coaches around the country are starting to recognize that, and that does nothing but create great life opportunities for these kids. Not just basketball opportunities, but life opportunities.
You talk about Brandon Richardson, the terrific Cougar guard here. Defenses are now starting to focus on him, and that's opening up opportunities for Shanderick Tyson and Josh Jordan.
It's opening great opportunities for them. Shanderick had already started to take advantage of his, and on Friday night, last Friday night, against Inglewood, a very good and well-coached Inglewood team. Patrick Roy, one of the best coaches in the South Bay, bar none. And Josh Jordan went in there and ate them alive, 23 and 16 in terms of points and rebounds, a couple of steals to go with that, and a couple of assists. That was his coming out party. He didn't invite us to it, but hopefully, since we're on the B list here tonight as they play a very good Santa Monica team, maybe he'll be able to show the fans on Channel 22 a similar performance.
And after that performance by Josh Jordan, he said, everybody's treating us like the underdog, so we'll see how the Vikings treat the Cougars. And Mike Rios said, well, the destiny is in their own hands atop of the Pioneer League, atop of the Ocean League at 4-0.
And Lou, that's a very good point. I was looking at the weekly standings, the Daily Breeze top 10. The Cougars have yet to make an appearance in there. There are a number of 8-loss teams in there. The Cougars are the only 8-loss team in the area that also are undefeated in their league. They're atop the league, and they're not in the Daily Breeze top 10. I think that this is a Daily Breeze top 10 that deserves to be there, and hopefully a win tonight will get them that kind of recognition. I think they're exactly right, is that they're not getting the recognition that they deserve at this point in the season.
Well, we're under the microscope. Come on and join us. We're going to watch the Vikings and the Cougars coming up next on Channel 22 Sports. Just before opening tip-off at Hawthorne High School's Courtney Gym, Rufus Washington, Lou Stowers, Tom Strickfadden is in the truck. Let's go over the starting lineup, shall we, Rufus, of the visiting Santa Monica Vikings with a record of 14-6 overall, 3-1, good for second place in the Ocean League, winners of 2 in a row. Their point guard will be number 3, Brian Loof, a 5'10 junior. The 2 guard will be number 5, Terrence Boozer, a 6', 170-pound senior. The start 3 guards, the third one will be Leo Arnold, number 15, a junior, 5'11 senior. And the power forward will be number 41, Dominique Christopher. 6'1", 185-pound senior. And in the middle, number 21, Ari Feldman, a 6'6", 180-pound junior. And you just saw head coach James Hecht, a really good guy. For the home Hawthorne Cougars, and they have won 4 in a row, 12-8 overall, 4-0, good for first place in the Ocean League, are 3-1 at home. The starting point guard will be number 10, Derek Williams, a 5'11 senior, and Brandon Richardson will be the shooting guard, a 6-foot junior. At one forward, it will be Justin Martin, number 31, a 6-foot senior, and on the other side, it'll be number 22, the electric Shanderick Tyson, and in the middle, he blossomed, like Rufus said, number 23, Josh Jordan, and we're just about ready to get underway as Victor Jackson will throw it up. Actually, that's Floyd Hooper throwing it up, and Victor Jackson as well. The Cougars are coached by Mike Rios, and we're underway. Santa Monica had the ball and turns the ball over to Santa Monica. Justin Richardson powers his way in, lays it up, won't go down, but Santa Monica comes up with the rebound. Loof has it between the leg dribble, and it's stolen away by Richardson, who's got 2 already.
2 quick turnovers this time. He feeds it underneath to Shanderick Tyson. Shanderick can't finish, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. But Brandon Richardson, in the first 23 seconds of the contest, forces 2 turnovers, comes up with 2 steals.
And Shanderick Tyson was maybe a little bit too far under the basket for that layup, so he might have got some help from Ari Feldman, the 6'6 junior, as he is in the starting lineup, Rufus. First free throw is up and in, 1-0 for Hawthorne to start off this Ocean League game.
But what I like, I'm sorry, go ahead, Lou.
Feldman is filling in for Will Friedman, who is a regular starter and is suffering from an ear infection.
What I like on that first possession, or at least on that possession, was again Brandon Richardson showing us what he showed us last week, and that's a willingness to pass the ball.
Lloyd Jr. has it, gives it off to Loof. Loof kicks it back over on the side. Now it goes all the way around to Boozer. Boozer has the ball taken away from him out of bounds. It'll still be Viking ball. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. 7:16 left in the first quarter. 1-0 Hawthorne. Good defense so far by Hawthorne.
You talk about a guy having a nose for the ball on Santa Monica's first 3 possessions. Brandon Richardson has been near or at the ball on every single one of them.
Ari Feldman puts it up and in. Actually, that's Will Friedman already in with 2 points, and it's 2-1 Samo, and a layup and in by Shanderick Tyson. Actually, that was Josh Jordan.
Well, I think you're right the first time.
Okay, and good defense again. Ball is stolen away by the Cougars. Justin Martin has it, and it's a jump ball. It's going to be Cougar ball, and that is the 3rd steal by the Cougars.
3rd steal by the Cougars, done by one of my favorite Cougars. I love them all, but as Justin Martin, one of the lunch pail guys, you know, we talk about the big 3, and he's the 4th name mentioned, but every team has to have a guy, Lou, that does the dirty work. Wow, and Brandon Richardson from 3-point range makes it a 6-2 game.
And Brandon Richardson had 18 points and 3 assists versus Inglewood. And just injuries have 2 big injuries have decimated this team. Because now with the ball is Dominique Christopher, gets it over in the corner, and a shot won't go down for Boozer, but he'll get 2 shots at the free throw line.
Well, this win tonight means that the Cougars will have gone through the first rotation in league play. Of course, you play a home and away. There's 6 teams, so you play 10 league games, and this is their 5th league game, and they get a chance to go through with a win tonight, undefeated on the first rotation.
First free throw by Boozer is up and in. Will Friedman got in real quick in this ball game as he's talking to James Hecht right now. Good shot. Actually, that's number 15, Leo Arnold, with the free throws as he makes 2. And now it's 6-4 in favor of Hawthorne.
In favor of Hawthorne. This will be an entertaining game, fans. You'll want to stay for the whole thing. Shanderick showing his range from the perimeter.
He already has 5 points, Rufus, as it's 7-4 in favor of Hawthorne. Loof has it, gets it over to Dominique Christopher. Christopher trying to pass it off, gets it over to Boozer. Boozer gets it back out to Feldman. Over on the right wing. Back up top to Feldman. with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Now here comes the guard coming in. That's Leo Arnold. He puts it up and in. 4 points for Leo, and that makes it 8-6.
Second effort by Arnold. Shanderick Tyson actually blocked the first shot, but it came back to him, and he scored the basket on the second effort.
Richardson in trouble and might have turned the ball over as he went up and under into the lane.
Up and under, use a jump stop move. That's one of those that's real tricky for the officials to call, but the officials felt like he took an extra step, ergo the traveling call.
Yeah, it's been a clean game so far. Only one foul on either side. 5 minutes left to go in the first. Good defense by the Cougars as a screen by Feldman results in a steal, and here comes Richardson, puts the ball up and blows the layup. Good defense underneath by Will Friedman, and let's check it out. The ball goes back to Richardson, and now we have a block. It'll be out of bounds to the Cougars as they're lucky that no one got hurt on that exchange.
Exactly. A lot of contact, no call on the play. Richardson went up. Some of the Cougar fans thought perhaps he was undercut on the play. The officials didn't see it that way, but the Cougars did draw a foul, and they retained possession.
And Will Friedman now with his second personal foul, Rufus, so he sits down, and Ari Feldman comes in. Ball is underneath, bad pass, stolen away by Santa Monica, and back comes Terrence Boozer for Santa Monica. This game is for bragging rights in the Ocean League, and we have a foul underneath. Some jousting going on, and we'll see who it's on.
That one was on Josh Jordan. That was away from the ball. Coach Rios asking what happened, and we see Floyd Hooper indicating to him that Josh threw an elbow.
Just
a clear out elbow, not, you know, I mean, there are different kinds, and that wasn't a elbow to injure, but it was a clear out elbow.
Tyson blows the layup on that one, and now we have a
jump
turnover
ball
again. Was it a jump ball?
It was a jump ball. Was the call on, and it goes to Santa Monica. Nice little two-man game between Brandon Richardson and Shanderick Tyson. Shanderick unable to finish.
8-6 is the score. Santa Monica with the ball, but Hawthorne has the lead. Arnold has a wide open wing, goes in, but it shuts down quickly as Jordan blocks it and takes it away. Now here comes Justin Martin. Gets it up front. Shot taken by Richardson with a man in his face for three. And James Hecht has seen enough. He wants a 30-second timeout. 11-6 Cougars.
As Brandon Richardson hits his second three-pointer here in the first quarter. And that's what you don't want to see if you're the opponent, is to see Brandon Richardson get untracked as you see him from three-point distance, put it up and in. Been very unselfish the last couple of times we've seen him playing as a team player. I mentioned it in the pre and post game about his pinpoint passing, but make no doubt about it, this guy can also shoot. And Coach Heck knows that when he sees him hit 2 threes, he knows it's time to make a defensive adjustment.
And just want to remind everybody that this Friday we will be at North High School in North Torrance, where the Cardinals of Lawndale will be visiting North. We'll do the girls game before and the boys varsity. So a doubleheader on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Television Channel 22 Sports as we have a whistle blown by Floyd Hooper.
Wow, this is going to be...
Shanderick Tyson gets nailed for a foul, Rufus. Mike Rios didn't like the call.
Well, and the thing is, Hooper saw that way off the ball, so it must have been fairly obvious. When I say way off the ball, Hooper was the trail official, and he's actually watching the ball up top, and he saw Tyson down in the corner commit that foul.
Nice move by Leo Arnold to dish it off to Ari Feldman for the bucket, and it's 11-8 now in favor of the Cougars. Richardson gets it over. Now gets it back. Williams to Richardson, over to Shanderick Tyson. But the pass is blocked, almost stolen away by Leo Arnold. Taken back by Shanderick Tyson. Richardson with the three-pointer, almost went in, but Tyson's there for the garbage and puts it in the can.
Tyson with the follow, boy. One thing about this Tyson, he's no chicken, that's for sure.
That's right. No chicken strips there. 7 points for Shanderick Tyson. Feldman with a nice jump shot from the baseline. 4 points for Ari Feldman, and that makes the score 13-10 in favor of the Cougars.
Fairly high scoring quarter so far for the Cougars with 3 minutes left and them already having 13 points. Jump ball possession will go to the Cougars. Cougars on the season average 14.6 in the first quarter. Santa Monica at 15, and we've got nearly 3 minutes, and the Cougars already at 13 points. Unless Santa Monica shuts them down here somehow over the next 3 minutes, man, they're going to have a huge first quarter.
As Josh Jordan has it on the mismatch against Boozer. Now he traveled with the ball, as I'm sure he was just real anxious to go against the smaller defender.
Real anxious to go against a small defender, and Josh still hadn't got untracked yet. I don't think he's gotten the scoring column yet for the Cougars. So, and again, he's looking to follow up on a huge game that he had against Inglewood a couple of nights ago.
Now the foul's on Shanderick Tyson. That's his second personal, Rufus, and he may have to come out of the ball game. That's the fourth team foul.
Now, what's interesting is that he called it on Josh Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Now the point was it was on Shanderick is what we thought we saw, but he gave it to Josh Jordan.
In any respects, that's 2 fouls on Josh Jordan, and that's another turnover by Santa Monica. That's the 6th in this quarter unofficially. Richardson with the ball. Gets it over to Martin. Justin Martin has it. Coming in the ball game, next whistle will be Casey Jones. Martin, bounce pass on the give and go. Got up and went into the bucket by Brandon Richardson. And that's his first from short range. 8 points for Richardson. And it's 15-10 Cougars. And now we have a player control foul underneath.
And we've got an injured player down on the court. Slow to get up, number 3 for Santa Monica. That's Brian Loof. Josh Jordan doing a great job, as you see on the instant replay, establishing position in the paint and taking the charge.
Ryan Gilmore will come in for Loof. Next whistle, they didn't get him out of there quick enough. Martin comes in, the zone, gets it to Casey Jones. Jones almost threw it away, but now he gets it back from Martin, who finally got his attention with a 5-point lead. Jones goes down the middle, puts it up, hits it off the side of the backboard, but he will get 2 shots.
He'll get 2 shots, draws a foul. Jones provides that spark of energy that every good team looks for, and he plays that role well for the Cougars. Long-time starter. Coach Rios was telling us early on, what he wants to see Casey do, though, is improve on the defensive end.
And first free throw is up and in. It makes it 16-10. Coming in the ball game, Taylor Young and Keith Lewis. Out of the ball game, Shanderick Tyson and Josh Jordan, I believe.
Sure did. In fact, on the floor for the Cougars now is Taylor Young. Seldom used Taylor Young.
Well, since he's been brought up to the varsity, he's seen some pretty good minutes. We saw him last time we were here as Casey's second free throw is good to make it 17-10.
So the Cougars downsize just a little bit. We'll see over the next minute and 47 how this change affects them.
A little bit better matchup for the Vikings right now, but track team out there for the Cougars. The 3-point shot is buried by Dominique Christopher for his first 3 points of the game, and that shortens the lead 17-14 in favor of Hawthorne. Justin Martin gets it over to Lewis.
In fact, Justin Martin and Derek Williams, the only starters on the floor right now for the Cougars.
Boy, has the speed been turned up since the lineup change. Rebound, though, goes off to Santa Monica. Boozer with it, trying to get rid of Lewis, had to pass it away. In the ball game, Davion Coleman for Santa Monica, and a big 3-point shot is buried by Boozer now with 4 points.
So far, this move is working against the Cougars. However, this small lineup.
That was only a 2. Thought it was issued as a 3, but
well, it looked like it was a 3. That was a signal I thought I saw as well.
17-16 as it was 17-14. As now Casey Jones has it. He'll set the offense for the Cougars, who have a 1-point lead, and they've seen it, their 7-point lead shrink. Ball underneath is swatted away by Ari Feldman, who swatted that like he was getting the peanut butter jar off the top of the refrigerator.
Absolutely, and Coach James Hex tells his team to hold up for one shot. Of course, I don't think they heard or saw his indication as they went ahead and shot it. Was good to take the lead, though, at 18-17 with under 10 seconds left.
Davion Coleman thought, I don't get a whole lot of playing time. I'm going to shoot it. 4 seconds left. Big three-pointer by Casey Jones. Sinks it at the buzzer to get the lead back, 20-18. Casey Jones with a big rainbow that makes it rain inside of Courtney Gym.
Huge shot by Casey Jones. Boy, that'll give the team a spark as Coach Rios went to his bench with about 2 minutes left, gave up some points, needed to get some rest for his big three. Not only some rest, but to protect him from a little bit of foul trouble there in the late going in the first quarter. Santa Monica took advantage of it, though. Got to give them credit. They made a bit of a run, and now we see all three of them preparing to check back in. That's Chanderick Tyson, Josh Jordan, and Brandon Richardson.
As the Cougars getting set, sharpening their claws, Vikings have landed at Courtney Gym as the score at the end of one, 20-18 unofficially. Brandon Richardson with 8, Chanderick Tyson with 7, Casey Jones with 5, and that's good enough for 20 points. Terrence Boozer with 4 points for the Vikings, 4 points for Leo Arnold Jr., and Ari Feldman with 4, 2 points for Will Friedman, and 3 for Dominique Christopher for a total of 17.
Also gives us a chance to congratulate the junior varsity on the Cougar junior varsity on a very exciting last-second win over the Santa Monica junior varsity.
69-66. They were down by at least 10 points at one point. I thought this one's over, and that was in the second half. They came back. Nice job by the Baby Cougs. 7:45 left to go in the first half. Feldman with the shot. That won't go down as he's a big guy and he's very short. Now Gilmore passes it out, and Christopher can't make the shorty. And here come the Cougars on the quick transition, but there's too many navy blue shirts out there, so he pulls it up. Here's a pull-up shot. 3, buried by Richardson.
Great shot by Brandon Richardson off the feed from Casey Jones. Richardson was about 22 feet out, looked up, saw nobody on him, hesitated for a half a second and said, why not?
Absolutely. As he was wide open, Boozer gets it over to Christopher. As Taylor Young getting set to come back in for Mike Rios. Boozer down underneath the Gilmore. Does a little playground jump shot. That won't go down. As Gilmore, oh, look out. As Josh Jordan put a shoulder into Gilmore. And look out, Brandon Richardson may be hurt.
Well, I think fortunately it looks like he was just shook up a little bit. Anytime you get hit in the face, which it looks like he was, it stings you for a moment. But he didn't even look toward the bench as if though he wanted to or needed to come out. He goes down to the offensive end and gets ready to take another shot.
Casey Jones, as usual, puts a spark into this team. Look at that pass.
Oh,
tic-tac-toe.
Excellent play, and that's a set play for them. One of the things Coach Rios also told me about the Santa Monica team, and we'll watch for it, is that they run great half-court sets, and that was going to be their challenge to defend them in the half court.
As a three-point shot by Davion Coleman gives him 5 and cools off momentarily the Vikings, as it's 25-21 in favor of Hawthorne. Ball will go out of bounds to Hawthorne on the good defense again. That's the 7th turnover by the Vikings. First half, as the defense has really begotten the offense, and Josh Jordan seems to have a chip on his shoulder so far as a ball is stolen by Tyson, but it's gotten back by Gilmore. Skips across to Feldman, pump fakes. Jordan won't go for it. Now Boozer has it on the mismatch, on the man-to-man defense. Goes up and under, around, blocked from behind by Tyson, who steals the ball away. Back come the Cougars with 5:45 left. Richardson again for three.
Richardson feeling it. Tonight is Brandon Richardson's night. I can tell you that with 5:40 left here in the first quarter. When you see a shooter get unwound the way he has here in the first half, and we still got a lot of playing time left, it's his night, Lou.
16 points for Brandon Richardson. Gilmore has it. Goes up and under around Casey Jones, who reached in. It'll be either on Casey or Taylor Young. Casey Jones is teamed for the foul. Both teams with 5 team fouls, Rufus. But what a player Brandon Richardson is. The 6-foot junior has another year left. And I'll tell you what, then the great pass from Jones to Richardson to Jordan.
Excellent pass. And again, obviously a play that they work on. They understand movement and execution on the floor, having cutters to the basket. All that's basic fundamentals as we have a timeout taken by the Cougars on Lawndale Hawthorne's Community Cable Channel 22.
And as usual, we want to thank our fine sponsors that help you bring us these games.
If you need a place to sleep, Holiday Inn's Suite and Hotel of the South Bay.
That's a great place.
If you need a job,
yes,
South Bay Workforce Investment Board.
If I keep acting like this on the broadcasts, I will be.
And if you're hungry and need some food to eat.
Always.
Ralph's, food for less.
I got my club card.
We got all the bases covered. A job, food, and a place to sleep.
There you go. Plus you
It
get
makes sense.
free breakfast, I think, at the Holiday Inn.
There you go. Fans, again, they're proud supporters of the programming that you see here.
28-22. There's Ryan Gilmore, the 6'3 senior, makes his second free throw. 2 free throws in a row makes it 23-28. These Vikings, well, their ship has not left yet, that's for sure. Casey Jones has the ball. Jones being chased around. Nate makes a nice move to get around Coleman. Now Richardson has it. Behind the back. Gets it up to Young. Young trying to go around his man.
Excellent half-court man-to-man defense
Can
by
he do it
Santa
again?
Monica. But Brandon Richardson is on fire, as I told you.
31-23. And that'll take the wind out of the Vikings' sails. As Gilmore goes down, was double covered. Ball is taken out of the air, and here come the Cougars. 31-23 is the lead.
Wow.
Richardson.
That went a
from way
little
downtown.
bit too far.
I
I think his arm was just tired, Lou. That's all that was. The distance didn't really matter. I think it was in his arm, though.
That was from the corner of El Segundo and Hawthorne.
And he's got how many three-pointers here in the first half?
Well, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 in this quarter for 19 points.
19 points with only half of the quarter gone here in the second quarter.
His career high is 38. Feldman may have did the bunny hop, but good rebound. That won't go down. Ripped out of the air by Josh Jordan. Is that Jordan down there?
That was Jordan. And Josh showing his strength. Josh may be shaking up just a little bit. May have pulled his shoulder some because the Santa Monica man was on top of him, and he was looking to rip, and he was ripping his whole body. I mean,
somebody on the Vikings is lucky to have a limb. 4:20 left to go. Josh Jordan's game has really stepped up since the last time we saw him. We saw them at the Morningside blowout, and then Inglewood, they beat them 68-55, and that's when Josh Jordan went off for 23 points and 16 rebounds, and we have a travel and another turnover. Great defense by the Cougars this game.
Taylor Young does a great job of establishing position, forcing a turnover. That's one of those situations where the official, using his discretion, saw the travel first. Some may have called that a player control charging foul. The travel call was a good call.
And here come the Cougars. Just notice a little bit of attitude in it, too.
There was another cut to the basket for Brandon Richardson. That's the second time we've seen him run that play.
And that was only a 2 for Richardson. As here comes Christopher. Stops, has the ball stripped away, and another turnover. Richardson is being a pickpocket here on his own home floor. 33-23 all of a sudden as Richardson gets it over to Tyson. There he comes with the little runner. Josh Jordan trying to get the rebound, puts it back up. He's fouled by Feldman, and Josh will go to the line to get 2.
We'll go to the line to get 2.
Swagger, right there, you saw it.
And the other thing that we're seeing is that Richardson might get his career high. As we see Josh Jordan battling underneath to draw the foul. They call the foul on...
I believe it's Ari Feldman.
Okay, they're going to put it up now for us. A little table just a little bit slow. They're watching the game just like we are.
16 foul, that's for sure. That's only the first point, Rufus, for Josh Jordan, 34-23. Justin Martin will come in. Taylor Young has come in. Sitting down will be Derek. Well, actually, Derek Williams is out there. Free throw is nice form by Josh Jordan, 35-23.
They'll score them 15-5 here in the second quarter so far, Lou, with about 4.5 minutes gone by in the second.
Boozer with the ball, has a wide open wing, takes advantage of it and blows the layup. He was astonished he had that much room, and back come the Cougars, 3:10 left in the first half with a 12-point lead. Tyson comes in, puts it off the glass, and they force the foul, and he'll get 2.
He gets fouled on the way up, hit on the arm underneath official. Victor Jackson saw that one easily, and you're right, Chanderick with a chance for 2 here as we see him drive the baseline, and you see the foul being applied there by Terrence Boozer.
It's his second personal and the 7th team foul. First free throw goes up and down and around and down. It's 8 points now for Chanderick Tyson. That makes it 36-23. All of a sudden, the Vikings have gone ice cold.
They've gone ice cold, and the Cougars have gotten red hot.
They can't miss. 9 points for Tyson, 37-23. Brian Loof back in the ball game for James Hecht and his crew. In the game for first place, and the Cougars, well, and that was a nice power move by Ryan Gilmore with 4 points now to break a big run by the Cougars. It's now 37-25.
Well, the Cougars had a 15-5 run to start it, and there's another three-pointer. Boy, they have lived and feasted on those tonight as they lead again by 15, their largest lead.
Taylor Young, I believe that's his, unless he got another one against Inglewood, that might be his first varsity three-pointer, and that should be a travel, and the 10th turnover of the game for Santa Monica.
Considering what we've seen of this Cougar team so far, Lou, and we've seen them against Hawthorne, El Segundo, Morningside, and now Santa Monica, I tell you, they may go undefeated in the Ocean League. They're just that good at this stage.
Well, they certainly seem to be tonight, that's for sure. They went on a 9-0 run to really put the Vikings in a hole, 40-25 right now, with 2:05 left to go. And we have a hold back over on the other side. Taylor Young gets nailed for his first personal and the 6th team foul. So now the Cougars are out of fouls.
Coach Mike Rios there on your screen. From our vantage point, fans, we're seated right beside Coach Rios, and even his intensity level is up a couple of notches tonight for this first place contest.
Shot taken by Loof is short. Rebound taken by Casey Jones, the littlest guy out there in the trees. Jones brings it up quick, so is everybody else. Nice pass underneath, back out to Young for 3. Little long, Tyson fights for the rebound, but it's taken away from him by Taylor Walker, but the Cougars come back with it. A new 35 seconds and a minute 34 left to go. As Mike Rios says, let's slow it down, fellas.
Slows it down for a minute. Opportunity to set his half-court offense now. Clock with 15 seconds, so there's still plenty of time on the clock.
A big 15-point lead, 40-25 for the Cougars. 7 seconds left, and the ball goes underneath, and it's stolen away by Taylor Walker.
So the Cougars burn time, but they don't add to their lead.
Looked like a walk underneath, but instead it was a pass to Dominique Christopher, who lays it in, and he'll go for the and one on the other side.
Foul called against Derek Williams on that play.
So Dominique Christopher with 5 points, trying to get 6 the old-fashioned way. 40-27, and the Cougars have just destroyed the Vikings.
Cougars have had 2 huge quarters thus far, Lou. They average on the season about 30 points in the first half. Here they're already way above that. Santa Monica with a 28-point average in the half, sitting right, actually 29, sitting right at their average.
Ball is stolen away by the Vikings as the Cougars get a little sloppy with it towards the end of the first half, as Big Chan Derek Tyson forced a bad shot by Brian Loof, and back comes Justin Martin. Martin wants to go coast to coast, but gets it back out, and a block and a steal, but taken back by Williams, and he lays it up and in. Williams was supposed to get the pass anyway.
Cougars hitting on all cylinders right now. Shot clock off with 30 seconds left. Well, actually, the clock is still on. There's a 3-second difference, it shows, between the game clock and the shot clock. Now it'll go off on the possession, on the turnover by Santa Monica. Cougars should hold for the last shot here as they lead by 14.
21 seconds left to go in the first half. 42-28, and who would have thought this?
I think only people would have thought this is the Cougar team themselves.
That's right, says Martin has it now. With 10 seconds left to go, Casey Jones has it. Now you hear the Cougar bench counting it down. We'll listen to them. Martin has it, top of the free throw line, takes a big three. That was ugly. Now Richardson tries to get the rebound, and the half ends 42-28. That's pretty sweet.
Well, Justin wanted to get a piece of the action himself. I can't fault him for it. When you're out there and you're watching Richardson put it up the way he did in the first half, and you're watching Derek Tyson get his share, and even Derek Williams got in on the act with a three-pointer. Justin says, hey, what about me? Give me a little piece of this. Puts one up as the clock expires. Doesn't go, but what a huge, huge first half for the Cougars as we see them head to their locker room. Led by Coach Mike Rios, they lead 42-28.
Now, as Mike Rios goes off into the locker room for the Cougars, Rufus, what does he tell his team with a huge lead, 42-28 for the
Main
second
thing
half?
he tells them is real simple. The game isn't played in 2 quarters, it's played in 4 quarters. They don't award wins for what halftime scores, they're awarded for the end of the game. And that's what they've got to do. He's going to remind him, I can tell you how good this Santa Monica team is. So you can rest assured of that. And the idea is actually to keep them pumped up and make sure they don't become complacent. But they've done a great job. And all you can do is say, hey, go out. If you do the same thing you did, defensively and offensively, we'll get out of here with a win.
All right, I want to thank my dance partners in the background here. Well, they learned their lessons well. I taught them how to do that dance, which is probably why it's so ugly. Well, let's go over the first half scoring, and remember, everything is unofficial until we tell you so. So for the Vikings, 4 points for Ryan Gilmore and 4 points for Terrence Boozer, who's held scoreless in the second quarter. Also, Leo Arnold with 4 points. He was held scoreless in the second quarter. 4 points for Ari Feldman, who looked like he was a little tentative, and there's some good spots and bad spots. Had a roller coaster first half for James Heck, and he had 4 points, 0 in the second quarter as well. Will Friedman, who is in foul trouble as well as suffering from an ear infection, has 2 points, none in the second quarter, as he was in foul trouble with 3 personals. 5 points for Davion Coleman, who added a spark for the Vikings, and a three-pointer, and 6 points for Dominique Christopher, for a total of 28 points. For the Cougars, with a 4-game winning streak on the line, led by Brandon Richardson with 21 points, and I was running out of room on my scorecard on that one, with 4 three-pointers in the second quarter, 2 of them in the first quarter.
He may equal his career high tonight, or exceed it, I should say.
38 points is his career high, and that was at Reno. And 2 points for Derek Williams, 9 points for Derek Tyson, so he's on his way to another big night. 15 points against Inglewood. He may surpass that. Also 5 points from Casey Jones with that big three-pointer, and 2 points for Josh Jordan, 3 for Taylor Young with a big three-pointer. They've been doing it from inside and outside, and have just been clawing apart the Vikings underneath.
They have indeed, and what's interesting in the stats that you just gave is that Josh Jordan still hasn't got untracked offensively, And if you add his output to this, then the Cougars really could come out strong. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Rios try to get Jordan untracked early in the third quarter to become the inside presence that he can be.
So we'll find out in a few moments. Stay right where you are. Wait and go get a sandwich and a drink and do your other things. Go to the kitty box as the Cougars have. And we'll be back with the third quarter action. Again, for first place in the Ocean League, the Vikings are trailing the Cougars big, 42-28 on Channel 22 Sports. Third quarter underway. Cougars have the ball after a Viking miss. It's 42-28. Shanderick has the ball and the league. Shanderick Tyson, that is. Brandon Richardson with the ball now, as he is telling everybody where they're supposed to be. Looks like right now, at least, the Cougars are going to be intent to choose some clock. Rufus as the ball gets stolen away.
And they open their first possession of the second half with a turnover. Looking inside on the play, which was kind of what I expected. Ooh, wow, shot from downtown put up and in by Dominique Christopher.
I don't think he called the H, though, did he?
I don't believe he did, but he gets it nonetheless.
That's right. Martin has it now. Justin Martin gives it to Richardson. Richardson cuts as Martin gets it back up top to Williams. Now back over to Martin. Being very patient are the Cougars as Tyson makes the drive, makes a jump shot, and that is off.
Tyson off balance on that shot. Not a particularly good shot for him to take there. The real battle right now, Lou, is going to be down low between Friedman and Josh Jordan.
As now we see the Vikings with the ball. Bounce pass underneath to Boozer. He goes up against Josh Jordan. Brandon Richardson trying to get the foul called on him to save Jordan. And Victor Jackson buys it.
He buys it. Actually, I thought the foul would have been on Derek Williams. But Richardson doing a good job to get the call. Boy, okay, now they put it up on the screen. That's Richardson's second of the contest.
That's right. For a second, that's the first foul of the second half. Free throw is up and in for Santa Monica, as Boozer was 1 out of 2, now with 4 points. And it's a 10-point ball game.
Santa Monica, a little 4-point run to start the second half here. Tyson gets it inside, puts it up and in.
And now has 11 points. It's now 44-32. And I don't know if the Cougars, they might get bored with this chewing the time off the clock stuff.
Well, I think they're going to find their second half legs in just a moment.
As Friedman tries to dribble in, and Jordan says, "Excuse me, but I think that rock is mine."
And that's one of the things that they did well in the first half, and that was forced turnovers.
As that was the 12th turnover overall, 11 unofficially for the Vikings in the first half. 5:29 left to go, and a nice pass underneath to Tyson. And boredom doesn't seem to suit the Cougars well, and I do believe James Hecht wanted a timeout and got it with 5:23 left to go in the third quarter. A 30-second timeout. 46-32 is our score in favor of Hawthorne.
Well, Coach Hecht definitely saw something that he didn't like, Lou, because they opened it with a 4-0 run of their own, and the Cougars simply answered with a 4-0 run. But what he saw, I believe, that he didn't like was the manner in which the Cougars scored their 4 points, and that's what they were starting to be assertive. They were starting to run again, starting to get the easy baskets, and that he wanted to bring an end to real quick.
And just looking at that picture of Coach Hecht, you will not see that one very often with a smile not on his face, as it was good to see him again. That was one of the first games that I did for Channel 22 Sports, I think, was here with Hawthorne against Santa Monica. And James Hecht remembered our meeting and was very happy that he did. Good guy. And a good rebound by Josh Jordan, but a bad pass. And it looked like he got bailed out by Brian Loof, who stole it but stepped on the out-of-bounds line. And it'll be Cougar ball.
Victor Jackson, the trail official, or the lead official, I should say, at that point had a good look at it.
Three-point shot just a little bit short by Richardson. Rebound being fought for. Cougars trying to come up with it, but it's on the ground. It'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow faces towards Hawthorne. 46-32. Hawthorne with the lead. A little bit of a sluggish start, as I guess we were kind of spoiled there in the second quarter. Cougars outscored the Santa Monica Vikings 22-11. Tyson has it, wanted to go down to underneath, but Loof was right in his pocket, so gets it back from Williams, does a scoop shot, won't go. Jordan with the rebound, strong, puts it in. He'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three.
And that's Josh Jordan, the first time this evening he's had the opportunity to assert himself down low and inside, and he took advantage of that opportunity.
That's 3 fouls on Will Friedman, as going to the line as Josh Jordan is 2 out of 2 with only 2 points.
And I just said a couple of moments ago, Lou, that was going to be what we needed to watch here in the third quarter, was Josh Jordan and Will Friedman.
As the free throw doesn't go, rebound being fought for, taken by Santa Monica High School. And Will Friedman needs to step up his game because he is the big scorer on this team. 19.5 points leading the Vikings, but Josh Jordan stood like a wall, but kind of moved a little bit.
Moved a little bit, boy, and that's one that he hates to have to accept, and I understand why. Because, boy, you know, there was very little that he did to create a foul situation there.
And let's see, who do they call it on, though? I do believe it was on Jordan. It looked like Jordan from this angle. But I do believe that Floyd Hooper said it was on number 21. Yep, they did give it to Shanderick Tyson. That's only his second, so Jordan gets a break.
Well, he definitely catches a lucky break on that one, because I think you and I both thought that that foul was going to be charged to him.
Second free throw doesn't go in for Leo Arnold, and now we have
a foul being called on Santa Monica, and that one's going to go against Terrence Boozer.
That's his third personal, second team foul, so James Hecht will have to take out Boozer and put in fellow senior Ryan Gilmore. So lots of guards out there for the Vikings. Not a whole lot of height as Ari Feldman comes in the ball game for Friedman. Richardson, now it's swung over to Martin, down underneath to Jordan, puts it up and in.
And I think that one of the things that Jordan has decided, I believe Coach Rios is going to give him the green light, is to try to take advantage of the junior Feldman.
Christopher goes up, and it's a charge.
And that's the second charge that Josh Jordan has done tonight. And that's always something you want to see you guys do on defense. Be willing to step in there, make a stand, and take the charge. There you see it on Hawthorne Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Josh Jordan with the American Express player tonight. And I'm just kidding, fans, they don't have a part of this, but they are a charge card, and he did take a charge.
That's right, with interest. Since the interest is going up. And you know what? I don't like to usually give everybody a shout out here, but the camera guys have done a terrific job. And we should probably give a little more shout outs to them, because they're working, Tom Strickfaden is the one who's doing the shouting, but it's not all complimentary. As Hawthorne has it, Shanderick Tyson gets his own rebound, puts it up with one hand.
And again, what Hawthorne is doing right now is what any well-coached team does. They're taking advantage of the mismatches. Boy, they've got a height advantage out on the floor, and they're making Santa Monica pay for it.
Christopher has the ball. Christopher really is at 6'1", is a power forward on this team. As Gilmore has it, swung around to Feldman for three, in and out. Rebound is taken by Richardson. Richardson comes back. Down underneath to Jordan, puts it up, and Feldman will foul him, and Jordan will get two. So the aggressive play of Jordan is earning his way to the line, and let's see if he can earn the 2 points.
He's earning his way to the line. They're taking advantage of the mismatch, is what they're doing underneath there. And quite frankly, what we're seeing is that Ari Friedman, the 6'6", 180-pound junior, is having a tough time against the 6'6", 225-pound senior Josh Jordan.
First free throw is right down the middle. 7 points for Josh. 53-32. Or 33, check that. Wholesale changes for the Vikings, Rufus. He's just trying to, he being James Heck, the head coach, just trying to put together some sort of a combination to try to whittle away at this now 20-point lead.
Cougars' biggest lead of the night. One of the things he's trying to do is get a little more athletic, I believe.
8 points now for Jordan, 54-33, and a huge run put on by the Cougars as they put on a
12-5 run now.
Actually, yeah, well, 12-2 if you want to get specific about it. Ran out of fingers and toes here. Long three-point shot. That won't go down by Coleman, and the rebound is taken by Martin, but there's a foul underneath. And I do believe this they nail Jermaine Fearon, number 34.
Let's see if they go back to Jordan or Shanderick Tyson again. Of course, they still got, I mean, how deep can you be when you still got Brandon Richardson in your hip pocket, who finished the first half with 21 points, and he's yet to get going here.
And the rebound as Richardson, the alley-oop pass is a little short by Casey Jones. Arnold gets the pass out to Christopher for three. Got it. Nice shot by Dominique Christopher off with the pass. 12 points for Dominique.
Big three-pointer draws him back within 18. And Josh Jordan with the reverse layup off the feed from Casey Jones.
That's 10 points for Big Josh, 56-36. And a layup and put back in by Davion Coleman. Coleman now with 7 points, 56-38. Here comes Richardson. Look out, he's going against Taylor Walker. And now we have a collision underneath. And let's see, the ball's going the other way.
Well, it's hard to describe, but basically what Josh did, when you talk about laying a block into a guy, laid a block into the Santa Monica defender, and the official had no problem calling that. A bigger guy probably would have bounced off of it, not have gone down, but when the little man went down, the official thought, hey, I better go ahead and blow the whistle on this.
Does he think it was his twin brother out there in the gridiron,
right,
blocking a linebacker?
Well, he definitely laid a pretty good block on the Santa Monica player on that play.
Well, yeah, and at halftime, Rufus, I was scanning the audience, and yeah, there's at least one, maybe two coaches and or scouts here watching this game tonight. The big Ocean League battle. Comfortable 56-38 lead right now. 1:40 left to go in the third quarter. And we have a traveling call as Taylor Walker was trying to skywalk.
Trying to skywalk, except he was doing it with his feet on the ground. If you're in the air with no contact on the floor, you can do that.
And he did it without his lightsaber.
So he was moonwalking.
1:30 left to go. Hey, my grandmother told me about that move. No, I'm just kidding. Justin Martin, I taught that move once. I didn't learn it though, but I still taught it. As Richardson goes up for the layup, no, but he will go to the line, or no? Is it a charge?
Looks like that's what they're going to call against him, and it is a charge call against player control foul against Brandon Richardson, and that's his third. We got 1:15 left. Cougars up by 18, 56-38 on Hawthorne Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22.
And that's the fourth team foul on the Cougars. 5 for the Vikings. 1:04 left, and the ball is stripped away in the third quarter, but picked up. Garbage put in the can, and it's a big three-point shot for Taylor Walker, his first bucket of the game. And now we have a steal by Dominique Christopher, and he is held by Justin Martin. And James Hex wants an intentional foul.
And wanting intentional, referee says no to that. Makes it a 15-point game. Boy, so the Cougars, as we take a 30-second timeout, that timeout being taken, I believe, by Coach Heck, but in fact, it's being taken by the Cougars, trying to stem the run being made by Santa Monica here with 51 seconds left in the third.
There you can see James Hecht right there. He's still smiling. He's one terrific guy. I want to congratulate him and his wife. They just had a baby girl 10 months ago, or a baby boy 10 months ago, excuse me, and they're expecting another one in June.
Wow, well, you're right. Congratulations are due, and as I always like to say, glad it's him and not me.
No, he's got a handful coming up, that's for sure. As he was telling me that the little boy has already been to Clipper games and Dodger games and loves to look at all the lights and the shiny objects, and said, well, he is a guy then, isn't he?
Well, if he takes after the dad, after James Heck, who goes a good 6'5", 6'6" himself,
and
he's going to be a pretty big kid. Yeah.
51 seconds left to go in the third quarter, 56-41. At the line is Dominique Christopher, who has actually been the best player on the floor for the Vikings today, but he muffs that one. He'll get another one, has 12 points, 3 3-pointers. James Hecht says he wants the rebound. You know, we're talking about free throws. Kobe Bryant only made 81 points the other night, as that free throw is missed. You look at the line score on Kobe with 81 points, 18 out of 20 from the free throw line. So again, free throws so important in this game, as Brandon Richardson has the ball stripped and a player control foul anyway.
And Richardson's going to pick up his fourth, and he's got to come out now.
16 fouls as well as Taylor Young, the protege of Brandon Richardson, to come. He's just a sophomore at 6'3", and he's going to grow some.
So now the Cougars facing their first bit of adversity, because with 4 fouls against Brandon Richardson, obviously he's got to sit out some time, I would think, at the start of the fourth quarter. And the question will be, can the Cougars hold up without him? And the other thing we're seeing here, boy, a ton of fouls called here in the third quarter. Cougars have had 16 fouls that it shows so far, now a 7th. So we're in a 1-1, 17 fouls in one quarter.
It was either on Shanderick Tyson or Justin Martin. At any rate, that's the 7th team foul, and so it'll be a 1-1 for Davion Coleman with 7 points. If it's on Tyson, then that would be his third. If it was Martin, it'd be his second. I'm going to make a gander that it's Shanderick Tyson.
Okay, I'll have to accept that gander.
Okay.
A little more help from the officials in terms of reporting the score to the table in the reporting area would be appreciated.
Sure is. 9 points now for Coleman. That makes it 56-43, and the Vikings are on a little run of 7-0 run here right now. So Casey Jones, looked like we're talking about a little bit of boredom with 13 seconds left to go. The Cougars may be getting a little bored out here. What do you think?
Well, that's over now for sure.
As a 3-point shot taken and buried by
Derek
Williams.
Huge three-pointer by Derek there. That they needed on the play to stem the tide. Boy, they led at one point, Lou, and I marked it down 52-33 until that three-pointer. Santa Monica made a run to make it a 56-43 game, but Derek Williams closes out third quarter with a three-pointer to make the official score on Hawthorne Lawndale Community Cable Channel 22, 59-43 in favor of the Cougars.
Well, it's a huge quarter again for the Cougars, as they're just really cleaning the Vikings' clock tonight.
Cougars on the season averaging 66 points a game. Santa Monica averaging 61. Max Preps. And fans, if you haven't been to Max Preps, I would encourage you to go visit. A lot of great information about your school there, regardless of what school you support. Is contained on that website, www.maxpreps.com. One of the things on Max Prep they said, and they do a game prediction. And they said based on the recent performance of both teams, Max Preps predicts that Hawthorne will beat Santa Monica on January 25th with a final score of 61-60.
Now, I did some math earlier in the day, and in league,
Uh-oh.
I know,
Okay.
In league play, Hawthorne's average score is 63-49 in favor of the Cougars.
Well, that's doable. They'd have to play great defense here to make that hold up, though.
Long three-pointer won't go down, but the rebound is taken by Leo Arnold, and these Vikings don't want to go down with their ship. Christopher with a three-pointer.
Christopher with a three, but more importantly, Lou, what we see is Brandon Richardson, number 4, on the floor. And a clear-out foul being called against Santa Monica. Boy, they called that one on number 32, Taylor Walker. A huge call against Santa Monica as they had numbers down on the offensive end. But what I was about to say that's vitally important is that with 4 fouls, Brandon Richardson is on the floor here to start the 4th period.
Little shot taken, won't go down off the glass by Tyson, but it's tipped up and in by Josh Jordan.
Tyson tried to steer that one just a little rather than just taking his natural shot. He can make that shot all day long, but he wanted so badly for it to go in. Fortunately, Josh Jordan there to follow it up as Jamin Fearon answers on the other end for Santa Monica.
Good shot over Jordan. Look at Casey Jones go. Underneath camping is Josh Jordan. He just lays it in after he made the s'mores and the hot dogs with the big fire. He was just waiting around. A dozen for Josh.
What a huge second half for Josh, and that whole dozen, I believe, has come here in the second half, if not all of it, certainly most of it.
10 points of it. He just had 2 free throws made in the second quarter, so he had an ice-cold first. 3-point shot taken by Boozer.
So both teams have heated up, and with that three-pointer, Coach Heck decides, hey, I like what I'm seeing. Let me stop it just a moment, let my guys know that, and plot some more strategy, because the strategy he just plotted has done pretty good as they've cut it to a 12-point game. Louis was 16 when we started the 4th here. So that's a good run by them. They've had a 8-point run, an 8-4 run.
And Terrence Boozer with a big three-pointer. Also Dominique Christopher with a big three-pointer. Davion Coleman with a couple.
Gives us a chance, Lou, on the timeout to remind the fans of a couple of things. First of all, if you like these broadcasts and would like to see them continue, what we'd like for you to do is let your local elected officials know. Your local elected officials are your city council members in Hawthorne and your city council members in the city of Lawndale. You can do it several different ways. Send them a letter, use a phone and call them, or you can contact them by email. You can contact Lawndale City Hall at 14717 Buren Avenue, or by calling 310-973-3200, or emailing the city at www.lawndalecity.org.
6 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the 4th. 63-51. Cougars with the ball. And here they come. Richardson puts on the brakes, waits for his mates to get back on side. Casey Jones directing traffic, wants Richardson to come back up, is right in the center circle. Being guarded by Walker. Tries to go around Walker. Stops, puts up a shot a little bit out of control, and let's see what's going to be called underneath, Rufus.
Just out of bounds is all it's going to be called. Coach Rios looking for the foul there on Brandon Richardson.
Richardson looking like Superman after he dove in towards the lane, and now being tripped up inside there was Brandon Richardson.
Richardson needing to settle down. I understand his frustration, doing just a tad bit of woofing. He doesn't want to go out of the game. If you're going to go out playing basketball, not talking. As he goes to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
That's right. As the foul is on Taylor Walker. That's his second. Richardson was held scoreless in the 3rd quarter. Makes the first one.
The graphic showed Richardson as a sophomore. Brandon's actually a junior.
We got to fire that graphics guy. He's getting pretty
I think he does it with his eyes closed.
23 for Brandon Richardson, as he could get that with his eyes closed too. Still has an opportunity if he really heats up. I doubt it. His 38 points against Reno is still safe, as the score is 65-51.
And I think they're probably going to hold Brandon out. He went out at the 6:14 mark. We'll make a note, fans, when he comes back in. I suspect they're going to try to hold him out for about 2 minutes if they can. Bring him back in for the last 4.
Nice ball fake by Coleman underneath, but now the foul is committed by Josh Jordan. He puts his hand up in the air with 5:49 left.
As we watch the replay here, Josh going high up in the air, catches him across the arm when he comes down on it. And that's Jordan's 4th foul. So the Cougars got 2 of their key guys in foul trouble with 4 apiece, Brandon Richardson and Josh Jordan, as Dominique Christopher makes it a 13-point game, looking to cut it to 12, which will be as close as the Vikings have been in quite a while.
Christopher's second free throw is off the mark. Going up high is Shanderick Tyson. Shanderick hasn't shanty-pooed anybody tonight.
Shanderick carrying the ball, no call by the official.
Wild shot put up in the air. It's taken out by Boozer, and back comes Santa Monica with 5:30 left to go in the game. Christopher wide open on the wing for 3, missed it. Rebound taken by the Cougars. Williams got it off to Casey Jones, and back they come. Casey.
Well, we'll see what play 22 is, because that's what coaches call, boy. And down underneath where a foul whistle late coming underneath.
Yikes.
Coach Rios about to give Floyd Hooper a piece of his ear, but the underneath official, Victor Jackson, is actually the guy who is charged with making that call. That's his area of coverage on the floor. And what Hooper did, which is what any good official does, was that he yielded to his partner underneath.
Foul was called on Davion Coleman. Big collision underneath, and we could feel that one over here. You'll probably feel that over at Caltech is about a 2.4 on the Richter scale.
And speaking of Caltech, I want to mention this. One of the nice things, I've noticed this a couple of times when we've come to do games here at Hawthorne, and I meant to mention the first time I saw it, out front on their digital display, they run through the names of kids and the universities that they've been accepted at. And I think that that's a great way of giving knowledge to the kids who are performing in the classroom at this school and pursuing higher education.
And not only that, as Boozer makes the 3, that gives him 10 points on the night, Rufus. It's now 55-65, I should say, to 55.
And they're going to be forced to bring Brandon Richardson back a little bit sooner than what I think they wanted to, but they get it down underneath again to Josh Jordan. And boy, Josh is asserting himself and having a heck of a game here, and he's carrying the load. Unfortunately, he's got to watch himself defensively because he's got 4 fouls.
And that gives him 14 points on the night, 67-55, and now we have a foul underneath as Taylor Walker should go to the line to shoot 2. And we'll see if the foul is on Justin Martin or not. Do believe it is. That'll be his second personal, 9th team foul. Actually, that's on Williams.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, you were talking about the marquee board honoring students. They also honor different students from different parts of the school as the student of the month, and I think that's terrific as well. I know that we give most of the glory to the athletes, but the academians also need it as well.
Absolutely. And not to mention the fact that you've got a couple of very good athletes very good students on this Cougar basketball team as well, including Brandon Richardson and Josh Jordan.
This is the front end of the 1-and-1. As now Dominique Christopher has it. Christopher gets it back to Walker. Looked like he almost carried it over. Now to Boozer. Nice pass along the baseline, but the ball won't go down for Coleman. Rebound to the Cougars. Casey Jones. And Shanderick Tyson took his eye off the ball just a little too soon.
Shanderick saw the basket, and it was as big as the Pacific. He decides he wants a piece of it. Let's see who the official tells us called the timeout. I know you know it was called by Hawthorne.
Full timeout.
So, on Hawthorne Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22 gives us another chance to squeeze in 1 or 2 more announcements. Let's first of all mention that if you'd like to know what's on Lawndale Community Cable Television Channel 22, you can have the program schedule delivered right to your email by subscribing to the Channel 22 program guide. Just send an email to channel22@lawndale.city.org and put the word subscribe in the subject area. We'll send it, and you'll receive a weekly update of all the great local programming available to you. Also, let's take a moment and thank our sponsors, Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites South Bay Workforce Investment Board, and Raft's Food for Less for their generous support in making these games possible.
Absolutely. My hat's off to them as these three great teams that we support here on Channel 22, Hawthorne, Lusinger, and Lawndale, will be watching the Cardinals fly into the Saxons Nest at North Torrance High School. We'll do the girls varsity first and then the boys varsity.
Cardinals trying to get on track in the league play. They've got 15 wins under their belt already, but they're 0-4 in the Pioneer League.
Time back in here at Courtney Gym, 67-55. 3:50 left to go, and Booster trying to go for another three, but that was an air ball.
And you're right, boy, this is going to be a tough 3:55, 3:47 actually for the Cougars, because there's no quit in this Santa Monica basketball team.
Casey Jones double teamed on the pressure and turns it over to Christopher, and we have a block, and it should be on Jones. Jones is frustrated, talking to Rios and saying, getting a little lesson there.
And what he's telling him is that when the double team comes, you got to be able to read that quickly. The double team unfolded right in his face. Well, you got to scan the floor in less than a second, find the open man, and get the ball away.
Dominic Christopher in the double bonus, Santa Monica High is. So Dominic Christopher will take the first free throw and makes it. 17 points for Dominique. Is 3 out of 7 tonight from the free throw line. Makes the second one. 18 points for Dominic Christopher, by far the leading scorer for this Viking team. 10-point lead for the Cougars, and we have a foul.
And that's who's had, they wanted in the hands of Brandon Richardson, as the foul is going to go against Taylor Walker. Richardson, excellent free throw shooter. He'll go to the line. It's a 1-and-1 for the Cougars, though, as opposed to the double bonus.
With 3:28, and that should be his third foul. Taylor Walker, the 6-foot, 180-pound junior for the Vikings. Again, the best defender for the Vikings is out, as Akil Gaynor injured his hip somewhere between about the 2nd of February and hasn't been back since. Richardson's first free throw is up and in.
Well, if he did it the 2nd of February, you are one heck of a soothsayer to know that that's what he's going to do on February 2nd.
What's that?
That he's going to injure his hip.
Did I say that?
You said he did it on February 2nd, or either
oh,
you're
I'm
talking
sorry,
about February 2nd of last year.
Not last year, no. Let me do that again. You're absolutely right there. 69.
Can you tell me when I'm going to win the lottery?
I'll tell you who the winning horse might be. Look out, here comes everybody right in front of us. Casey Jones picks up the loose ball, gets it out to Brandon Richardson. Richardson has it stolen away from him. Was pickpocketed by Arnold. Gets it to Christopher, lays it up and in.
And that's the problem with Richardson having 4 fouls. Boy, he had to retreat on defense. Now he takes it the other way. Their best ball handler as well as being their best shooter.
Okay, how about somewhere before January the 18th?
Okay, I'll go for that.
All right, thank you. My conscience, Rufus Washington, in his 18th year, the Natalie dressed Mr. Washington. Scoop shot put up and in by Chanderick Tyson, who's put up a quiet 17 points. Layup on the other side is no good. Christopher gets the rebound and puts it up and in for 21.
Well, I think one of the things, first of all, now the Cougars are really dragging their tail feathers in terms of even getting up the floor on the offensive end. There are only 2 guys up here. The other 3 were still coming up the floor, even though they had possession.
2:09 left to go. Casey Jones puts up the teardrop, and it falls, just like Mark Jackson used to do it in the NBA. As he now, that's his first field goal since the first quarter, has 7 points, 73-61.
Cougars I'm sorry, Lou. And that ball goes up and over. I was about to say, Cougars playing a zone defense now, trying to protect both Brandon Richardson and Josh Jordan, who are on the floor with 4 fouls apiece.
1:50 left to go in the ball game. Richardson gets it off to Jordan. Now gets it back, going up against Arnold, and now sees double coverage. Gets rid of it. Now Jones has it back to Richardson. 1:35 left in the ball game. 73-61. Cougars have it, but the Vikings are not slowing down. Richardson from the baseline, and that is good. 27 for Richardson.
Pull-up jumper money all day long.
Arnold Jr. gets it to Coleman. Coleman bounces underneath, taken by Friedman,
Near
and
steal
good
by
defense.
Josh. Good defense by Josh Jordan as he got a near steal on the play. He knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Santa Monica's ball with 22 on the shot.
And 1:13 left on the game clock. 75-61. Arnold gets it and takes a shot, but he just been shanty-pooed.
Hey, Shanderick Tyson goes up to knock it out of bounds.
Shanderick had 3 blocks against Inglewood. That's at least his second that I remember in this game. Ball is underneath, but it's stolen away by Jordan, taken back by Christopher, but it's blocked by Jordan. And back come the Cougars, get a little chippy underneath. Casey Jones flying in. Rebound, Jordan, no. Tyson with it, goes up, no. But it'll go to the line to get 2.
And we got a Cougar slow, not a Cougar, but rather a Viking slow to get up. That's number 24, Davion Coleman. As you can see, boy, I'm not sure who they gave the foul to, but number 15.
Number 15, I think, Leo
Arnold had a whole lot of arm on that one. I mean, that was a little do-si-do there.
As Tyson makes the first one. Nice form. That's 18
your
points.
Partner, swing him to the left, swing him to the right.
Alaman left. Alaman right.
So I think finally, with giving much credit to this Viking team, Coach James Heck's team came in and, man, they put up, after having been down by a bunch to start the second half, they could have quit. They put up a heck of a fight here in the second half.
And they're still running.
They're still running. But the clock's running too. It stops momentarily for these free throws. And the Cougars have got a 15-point lead at 76-61 with 46 seconds left. I think you can comfortably put this W in the win column.
Yeah, we can turn this, put the rest of the brown paper on it, and let's get the ribbon out so we can start getting the bow. Got 46 seconds to get the Scotch tape out after you destroyed my Scotch tape holder last week.
Yeah, but I brought you a brand new pack there. I'll just keep it for you.
Your
to make
nose
sure
is
it doesn't
growing
get
too.
broke.
I was going to say, your nose is growing.
Well, no, all I'm saying is I'll just hold on to
tape.
it. That way, I will make sure it doesn't get broken.
That's your own tape. See that there? This is what I have to deal with here. See what he brings? He brings brand new stuff.
That's for you, though.
Yeah.
I would just keep it.
Yeah. Okay, you babysit it for me. 76-51, Christopher is babysitting the ball, and it finds the basket. 22 points for Dominic Christopher, and he had only 6 points in the first half. So Dominic Christopher has really dominated for the Vikings here, as much as they can dominate, but he's only one guy. The Cougars have really dominated.
Cougars have dominated, and boy, they got exactly what they needed. One of the things was to get Josh Jordan going in the second half, and they got that happening.
Full court pressure by the Vikings as it's broken. Still full court pressure. Has 30 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. And the Vikings are not giving up. But now we can get that ribbon out, start tying the bow on, and put this one and wrap it up.
And that's all you've got to do is spread the floor. That's what they're doing. Santa Monica needing
Have
a foul.
1 second to shoot, and it just in and out. Casey Jones trying to get the rebound, and does, and that should do it. Casey Jones with 3 seconds. And the Cougars are undefeated in the Ocean League with a 76-62 win over Santa Monica High. In the Ocean League standings, as they turn the lights out quick here on the scoreboard, Hawthorne improves to 5-0 in the league, 13-8 overall. Santa Monica falls to 14-7 and 3-2 overall. So Beverly Hills and Inglewood have a chance to catch up in the Ocean League to make it a little bit tighter.
They certainly do, but the Cougars now with a full 2-game lead no matter what happens to the other teams here in the Ocean League. So they've got firm command as they finish the first cycle here in league play, and we congratulate them. But we also say to the Santa Monica Vikings and Coach Heck's team, they put on a heck of a show. They had an opportunity. They could have folded up their tent at the end of 3 when it was 59-43, but they came out, kept battling, but their injured star, who's not here tonight, made a lot of difference for them. But nonetheless, the Cougars, boy, they'll take the win, and as I said, they go up 5-0 overall in Ocean League play.
And that's also the 5th win in a row, Rufus, as that snaps a 2-game winning streak for the Santa Monica Vikings. And as Mike Rios is going to join us here in the broadcast booth momentarily, and we'll go over the starters, also their scoring as well for both teams, and select our Holiday Inn and Suites, Express Inn and Suites player of the game. And it could be a few of them.
Wow, that's going to be a tough choice tonight.
Josh Jordan, Shanderick Tyson, Brandon Richardson, all coming up big for the Cougars tonight, and Mike Rios. And that would be, that's going to be a terrific one. We're probably going to have to go with the coin toss here.
All right,
we'll make some room for Coach Mike Rios, the winning head coach tonight, and winning his 5th in a row, and also the 5th in a row in league. And Coach Rios, a terrific win over a really game Viking team. They were down a couple of players, but still the Cougars took care of business.
Yeah, well, Santa Monica is a very good team. Like I had mentioned to you guys before, that Coach Heck, James, was my coach when I was a kid. He's the reason why I got into coaching. So I know his boys are going to play hard, and he's not going to make any excuses. Just like, if we're missing a couple players, and we don't make excuses. We just go out there, we lace it up, and we play ball.
And Josh Jordan really impressed me after the whole team did. They had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming into the ball game, especially Josh.
You know, these Division II coaches have been saying, is he physical enough? And does he use his big body? So, a couple of fouls he got down there because he was using his body, and I told him, great job, son. We'll take that all night from you.
Well, Coach H might have used some of those blocks down the gridiron this year.
Now, Coach, start the 4th quarter. Brandon Richardson had 4 fouls. You elected to gamble and bring him out to start the 4th. Talk a little bit about that strategy.
Brandon has been a varsity player since his freshman year. And, the kid has played in that situation before, and he's done nothing but earn our trust and respect. And he went out there and played that way. You saw he had a chance down there to maybe possibly foul someone on a layup, and he knew better just to let the guy – he tried to take a charge, but, he didn't give up a silly foul. So he's been in that situation before. He's a mature kid, and we trust him there.
He had a huge first half, 21 points, 5 3-pointers in the first half. I mean, he was on fire. How often have you seen him with a shooting exhibition like that?
Brandon is a very good three-point shooter, and then when he gets streaky – oh, man, you got to watch out for that kid. He will shoot those NBA threes, and we give him green light on that all day. We actually will run some plays for him when he does get going. And then to give credit to the team because they do a good job of giving him the ball when he gets going. So they're very supportive and appreciative of him going out there and hitting some shots too.
Coach, you went through the first half of your Ocean League season, 5-0. Now everybody is seeing you as you head for the second half of the season. What's your expectation of what you're going to encounter? You got a number of road games, as well as the fact that teams are a little bit more familiar with the Cougars now.
Well, all I know is that we play Culver on Friday. I know we got him here at our house. We don't look beyond. We look at the next game in front of us. People always joke with me on why I got so many coaches. We got a great coaching staff. We got coaches that go out there and are taping games. We got coaches who miss tonight because they're out taping a game who we may play or who we will play next week. And we go out there and we worry about our next opponent.
That was Lou was talking about all the coaches you got. I was sitting beside him one game. He said, God, I never seen a team with – no, I'm just kidding.
Kind of like Pat Riley out there.
You know what? these are good guys, and when I was young
sure
and
are.
somebody gave me a chance or an opportunity, so it's hard for me to pass up on a fine young man who's going to set a good example for our kids. And if they want an opportunity, give me a call, and we'll definitely get them on out here and give them a shot.
Sure, there's a young guy that was a graduate assistant I used to know before he could afford hair gel, and then Steve Lavin didn't do too bad at UCLA. Although, you know, he kind of fell off the wagon there, but hey, your first Division I coaching job's up in Westwood. Are you going to say no?
And he's still not doing too bad now.
He could retire if he wants to, that's for sure. And Derek Tyson, when I talk about him, he's just really blooming as a player for you.
He sure is. You know, we were looking back on our non-league games. We played a tough schedule with Lusinger. We played Campbell Hall in a championship game. We played Reno in a championship game. So we've played in pressure situations. This tonight was a championship type of mentality or playoff type of game. So we go out there, and our guys, they really enjoy playing in that type of atmosphere.
Coach, you've got 13 big wins under your belt. I believe that you should be in the Daily Breeze top 10. If you have to make an appearance, perhaps this week will be the week that your team breaks in. Because one of the things I pointed out, though, there are number 8 lost teams, and that's not what's important. You guys are the only one that is a league leader, and now you're 5-0, and the Daily Breeze, among others, not giving you the respect that you deserve.
You know, we're sort of used to that here at Hawthorne. We've never really been a top program, and we're building it. This is year 3, and we always said that year 3 would be a year for us. We don't go out there and do any recruiting or anything like that. We develop our own kids, and we knew that with the kids that we had, it would take us about 3 years to be able to put together a championship quality team on the court. As far as us not getting respect or our name in the paper, I kind of like it, because then hopefully people will sleep on us and won't notice us as much. So maybe they'll take us for granted.
Well, it seems like the players on this Cougar team are kind of using that as their banner as they go to war.
Probably. We don't get a whole lot of respect, so we do have to go out there with a chip on our shoulders, all the way from the coaches to the players, even to our lower level teams.
Well, Coach, you're doing an outstanding job. You and the whole program and the kids in your program, and right now at this stage of the season, you've got every reason to be proud. And we here at Channel 22.1 commend you, and we thank you for, as always, taking the time to stop by and talk with us.
Thanks for having me, and you guys have been some good luck charms to us, so please keep coming.
Yeah.
Keep coming out.
I don't want to say it, but we're 8-0 as a group here.
Right.
All right, buddy.
Rufus, 10 points in the second quarter. We're working on our defense a little bit.
Hey, you did great. You did great. I congratulate you.
That second half, though, was off. They got hot, and they started hitting those threes. And they're a good team. They're not going to quit. They're going to play all the way through, so
all
give
right.
them credit.
Yeah, James Hecht is a terrific guy and a terrific coach as well.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Rios, the winning coach of
Coach, thanks
tonight's
for stopping
game.
by.
The Hawthorne Cougars, and the final score 76-62. And why don't we, as I go over the scores, why don't you help me think out who's going to be our Holiday Inn Express and Suites player of the game? And let's see, maybe I'll give you a quarter. Wait a minute, no, you'll keep it. No, here.
I got to tell you, it's
you
not
flip the
easy.
coin.
I kid you not. It truly is not an easy decision tonight. But I'm still thinking on it.
Okay.
I'm torn between a couple of guys.
All right, Brandon Richardson with 27 points, had 0 points in the fourth quarter, still ended up with 27 points, had a big first half with 6 3-pointers and 21 points in the first half. Derek Williams had 3 points, a 3-pointer in the third quarter, actually 5 points, a 3-pointer in the third quarter. Derek Tyson had 18 points, and that surpasses what he had against Inglewood, 15 the other night. And 7 points for Casey Jones, who did not score in the second and third quarters, but had a big 3-pointer in the first quarter. And 12 points for Josh Jordan. Not a real good performance at the free throw line. Check that, 14 points. That's right. Thanks for pointing that out for my conscience, Rufus Washington. And 3 points for Taylor Young, a big 3-pointer for the youngster. And that equals 76 points. For the visiting Vikings, 4 points for Ryan Gilmore, and it was 10 points for Terrence Boozer, who threw down 2 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. 5 points for Leo Arnold Jr., and 4 points for Ari Feldman, who scored all 4 points in the first quarter, and that was it. Josh Jordan said, enough. This is my house. This is my bowl. No one's eating out of it but me. And 2 points for Will Friedman, who is still trying to get over an ear infection, and the only 2 points that Will scored
was in the first quarter as well, and he scores 19.5 points a game for these Vikings. 9 points for Davion Coleman, and 3 points for Taylor Walker. 2 points for Jamin Fearon, and 22 points for Dominic Christopher, who had only 6 points in the first half. And Dominic Christopher is definitely the player of the game for the Vikings. And now it's time for our Holiday Inn Express and Suites player of the game. We have 3 people. Actually, I'm going to take Chanderick Tyson off the board. We're going to decide it between Brandon Richardson and Josh Jordan.
Well, my vote tonight goes for Josh Jordan.
Oh, I can't argue with that. Josh came in and led this Cougar team in defensively and said, this is our house, we're going to take you down.
And I like what he did when he started to assert himself in the second half. As we mentioned, slow first half, but I mean completely took over the second half. It came the inside force that the Cougars needed, and he was scoring at will at that point. If he'd gotten more touches, he'd have got more than the 12 second half points that he got, ending up with a total of 14, but he also forced some turnovers, controlled the boards, and played well even with the 4 fouls, but also played the kind of assertive, dominating game. He's a real nice guy with a great personality, and what the people who watch him play and want to see from him at the next level, and he understands that they want to see you be more assertive, and boy, he certainly showed us that tonight. We missed the performance the other night against Inglewood, but we saw a great one tonight, and for my money, Josh Jordan is our player of the game.
Josh Jordan with 14 points and was just ugly out there. Just in an ugly mood on defense and really guarded the yard. They gave it to let the big dog do it. They unchained him, and he guarded the yard as he shut down, combining Feldman and Friedman. Only 6 points, all of them in the first quarter. So the centers did absolutely nothing for the Vikings tonight.
Did nothing. Once again, the Cougars' inside presence. They made at the end of the first half when they went with the small lineup, they gave Santa Monica a little bit of hope. But I tell you, the big lineup of Tyson and Jordan in particular, and Justin Martin, the defensive bulldog, being in there really changes things around, and it changes things around in a great way. And boy, if we gave coaches Players of the Game award, I tell you, Coach Mike Rios, you got to give him a lot of credit, had his team well prepared for the contest against what was a well-coached and very good Santa Monica ball team, one of the class teams in the Ocean League, and they held serve at home, and that also was due to Coach Rios and his coaching staff.
I also, excuse me, my voice is finally going out on me tonight here. I also enjoyed the fact that the Cougars were passing the ball real well, even in tight quarters, making some nice, crisp, pinpoint passes, especially the bounce passes.
They were, and they had a couple of great backdoor cuts, as we saw. They had at least 3 of those plays, and I tell you, when you do that as often as they were doing it tonight, that's something that they worked on in practice. It's an offensive set, and they were executing it to perfection. Players understand. This is something young kids have to understand. Again, on the wing, cut to the basket, pass comes from the high part of the key, and they got easy baskets off of that.
Well, this win for Hawthorne really creates a logjam. Excuse me.
As Lou pulls himself together, you're gonna be all right, buddy. I know you're all choked up, but
I am.
But it does make Hawthorne 5-0 atop the Bay League by themselves. Second place team is Santa Monica 3-2. They may be tied by either Beverly Hills or Inglewood before the night is over, depending on the results of their contest. But the Olympians, I knew I was going to do that. The Cougars have complete control right now. They've got a 2-game lead, 5-0 overall, 13-8 in Ocean League competition. Losing her across town, and they have now staked themselves a claim on first place in the Bay League at 4-1 in league competition. They're a huge 18-3, one of the best record, in fact, in the area of any of the 3 leagues that we cover: Pioneer, Ocean, and Bay League.
And they're so fun to watch as well, as we will watch Lawndale's Cardinals play on Friday night.
Coach Acosta's team, they're 16-5 overall, great overall record. They've qualified for a playoff spot, still struggling a bit in the Pioneer League. That's no surprise to Coach Acosta. He's building his guys up. He wanted to get them some confidence wins early in the season. He knew that league play would be tough. I think they've still got a couple of win opportunities, and in fact, I think Friday night against North is a clear win opportunity for them in Pioneer League play.
And break that goose egg in the win column. That will be a whole lot of fun to go and see that as we put our perfect record on the line.
Well, you're right, but I think they'll be ready.
All right.
Cardinals, we're coming your way.
Absolutely. We're going to fly into the nest with you guys and gals, and that should be a whole lot of fun, a doubleheader on Channel 22 Sports with Lawndale's Lady Cardinals and the varsity boys as well. Well, put your finger on this one. We're going to wrap this one up, and that is a wrap. For Rufus Washington and Tom Strickfaden and the terrific crew for Channel 22 Sports, this is Lou Stowers telling you the final score from Courtney Gym. The Cougars really dominate the Ocean League at 5-0 with a 76-62 win over the second-place Santa Monica Vikings. Until Friday at North High School with Lawndale, so long.
Good night.
The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we are there for you. The preceding presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve.